What's going on? Set this up. What's up, Alex? Hi. What's up, Jake? What's up, Swifty? E Money and Jacob, John. What's going on, everyone? Haven't done one of these in quite some time. So, I just got back from practice. Um, Not very long ago, probably 30 minutes ago. And ate a quick dinner, 10 p.m. dinner. Is pretty normal this time of year. And then watched a good show on Amazon Prime, whatever it is, Prime Video, whatever. It's an old show. I don't know why. It's All or Nothing. It's like a football. Tyler, thanks, buddy. I'll answer your question in 1 minute. So I love like mic'd up shows. So All or Nothing, good show on Prime or Video, whatever the hell it's called. Um, I was just watching an old Rams one. I've seen the Cowboys one, a bunch of other ones. Let me see what I'll get to answering questions in a minute. Let me see Tyler's. Thank you so much, Tyler. Biggest regret in your baseball career? Big fan. Thank you. I appreciate that. My biggest regret is not playing like 20 years in the big leagues. Uh, but I honestly don't have like a lot of regrets. People ask me that all the time. People be like, "Oh, stinks. Did you regret that you didn't play well certain times? You got hurt or whatever?" Like, I always just say I did my best, tried as hard as I could, basically dedicated my entire life to baseball and to trying to play in the major leagues. And got there for a little bit. Didn't play as long as I was hoping, but I don't really have any regrets, honestly. I enjoyed I enjoyed my time playing, and now I enjoy my time coaching. So, you ever come to California? Not anymore. I haven't been there in a while. Actually, my wife and I were thinking about going out for a vacation at some point, bringing the kids out there. Hey, Manny, what's up? How are you? Family's good. What's going on? Am I fast? Probably not anymore. Used to be fast. Manny, you got how many kids do you have? Two kids? I try to keep up with you on Instagram. How much do I enjoy coaching? I really enjoy coaching. I just got done doing like 7 straight hours of coaching. Forgot to bring my dinner tonight. Usually make like a little sandwich, and I just coach for about 7 straight hours tonight. Um, so I really enjoy it. What do you think about the Manny Machado trade or the signing, the free agent signing? I think Machado's a great player. Obviously, I think San Diego. Um, that's you could end up going to worse places than playing in San Diego, $300 million. It'll be interesting what happens. I mean, they've got a really good farm system, got some good young players. So um, let's just say if they offer me $300 million to go play for the Padres, I think I'd take it. Biggest advice you give your high school self? Everyone always asks me like, "What's your advice?" I get asked that question like 100 times a day from high school players. I tell them like, it's like the simplest thing ever. Enjoy yourself, have fun, and try to get better every day. Like that's literally all I did as a player. Every time I tried to play, like, and it wasn't even so much. I didn't have any pressure on myself. I didn't think like, "Oh, I got to do this because I got to get to like college or to the major leagues or anything." I just enjoyed playing. I enjoyed practicing. I enjoyed playing, um, and every day I did. I did. Go, I went. I set out to try to get better every day. Joseph, wow, $20. That's unbelievable. Thank you, buddy. Let me see what you asked here real quick. Oh, no question. Just wanted to say thank you for all the great education you give these young ball players, like my son Jacob, who really likes following you. Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And hopefully, I am helping him out. All right, sorry, I missed a bunch of questions. Do I do seminars in CA? No, so I haven't pretty much all my stuff. I don't do a ton of traveling because we have so much stuff going on. Right, so we're north of Boston, about 20 minutes north of Boston. I'm going like 7 days a week, pretty much all day long. And so I have very little time to do a lot of traveling. But maybe one day I'll get out there again. What do I think Harper's going? I don't know. I have no idea. I thought he was going to Philly a while ago, and that has not happened. And so, hey Sam, Sam was at our practice. I just saw Sam an hour ago. Guy's just always trying to get better, Just at practice now, watching this. Harper to New York Yankees. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll end up. I don't know. What are the teams? San Fran. I heard. I heard Padres could be offering money. That'd be crazy if they land both Harper and Machado. Mets prediction this season. I mean, I think they're going to be. I think the Mets are going to be better, but I think that division now has, obviously with the Phillies making some moves, and I mean, they got good. Atlanta's really good, young and good. It's a tough division. And then who else in that division? Nationals. Are they in that division? Do you think the Blue Jays make the playoffs? I mean, it's really tough in the American League East to have to beat the Red Sox and the Yankees. I think both teams will be really good this year. So I would say it's going to be tough for the Blue Jays, but you never know. I'm just looking forward to seeing Vlad up finally. The pitch clock, yeah, I don't mind the pitch clock. I think there are some pitchers that take forever. And howdy, Mark. And so, I think at times the game does feel kind of slow when you got a pitcher that's stepping off every 10 seconds and taking forever, walking around the mound, and you get, thanks, Shannon. And then you've got, the hitter steps out because he's mad that the pitcher's taking forever. What's up, Mark and Abby? Let's see. Which is better, Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard? Well, actually, I don't go to either a ton. I did live in the Cape for two summers, so we would go to Martha's Vineyard. I don't know which one's better, though. I've been to the Vineyard way, way more, so I guess I'll just say Vineyard, but I don't know. How do you play for Antonelli baseball? You come to a tryout. Tryouts are in July or August, and you make the team. Or you don't. How much miles an hour gaining each year? It really depends. It's tough to say. I mean, I don't know there's a certain number or special number. Tips for a 14-year-old pitcher. I mean, there's a lot of things you could talk about. I always say the probably the important thing that we talk with a lot of our young players is just improving as a thrower. If you become a better thrower, if you move your body better, you'll become a better pitcher. I wouldn't so focus on the pitching part of things. Your instruction was to help my son. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have I been to Maine? I don't go to Maine very often. I've been there a couple times. It's all right. Thanks, Everett. Shout out to Hayden. I don't like root beer at all. I hate root beer, actually. I don't really miss playing. I shouldn't say that. Like tonight, when Sam was pitching, like I really wanted to get in and take him deep. And so, and like at those times, yes, I do miss playing. But I also do enjoy being home and, with my family and kids and stuff like that. But I do miss playing. So I think players should be paid more. I think minor league players should be paid more. I think major league players make a lot of money. Baseball in general as a business has brought in a lot of money, a lot more money every single year. So the business of baseball is growing. So I think the players obviously deserve a pretty big part of that pie. How to handle pressure in a big game or tough game? I think just try to stay focused, play pitch to pitch. Don't worry about the results. I know it's harder or easier said than done. But do you think launch angle is ruining baseball? No, I don't think launch angle is ruining baseball. I've talked about this. I have a couple videos on this. So I think, strikeouts are up. Yes, teams do value power, and so they're gonna, you know, when you want more power, you want bigger guys to hit for more power, you're gonna have a few more strikeouts. I do think the pitching has just gotten ridiculously good. I think the combination of both those makes it really, really tough to hit. I don't think baseball's ruined in any way, though. Is playing AAU baseball as a high school in Mass worth it? So AAU is actually kind of not. I just call it travel baseball now because AAU used to be kind of like the main thing. Now it's really not. Um, I think travel baseball is important. I don't think you have to play, but I owe a lot of my success to playing travel baseball. I think it made me, honestly, from 13 to 17, made me such a better player. And there's so many more travel ball teams now, so people think, well, it's useless to play because there's so many teams. I think if you can find a good team to play for against good players, playing with good players, they're going to push you to be better every day. Obviously, for a good coach or a good coaching staff, I think it's really, really beneficial to players. There's great programs out there. There's crappy programs out there. I mean, that's with everything. So some players have a bad situation with a team, and then they think, oh, well, all travel ball stinks. I don't believe in that. Hold on one sec. I think someone just, let me check this super chat thing right here. Justin, thanks, buddy. You're amazing. Go Cards. Yeah. Thank you so much. Which Cardinals? I'm assuming St. Louis. Whoops, hold on one sec. You're investing in an MLB organization? Can you hire me? Hold on one sec here. Is it hard to get in the draft? In Major League Baseball draft? I mean, there's a lot of baseball players in the country. And so, yeah, I guess it is hard to get into the draft or to be draftable. How to get drafted? Be really good. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you do have to be really good, but I got drafted. I got drafted twice actually. Once in high school, once out of college, and going out of high school, I never thought about the draft at all. Never thought about it. I just played baseball, played hockey, played football, whatever. Was good at baseball, got drafted. I never thought about it at all. And then I went to college, and because I got drafted out of high school and I got drafted lower than they told me I was going to get drafted, then I got like really pissed off. And then I focused on I thought about the draft like every day, and I was like, made it my goal to be a really high pick. And so I don't know. I mean, at times I didn't think about it at all. At times I did think about it a lot. Um, Sam, what did you just say about does Peter Martin throw cheese? So we had a practice tonight. Peter Martin, one of our pitchers on the 16U team, he was throwing like 80. So I wouldn't say he's throwing cheese, but some serious run and some sink on his fastball. It was pretty impressive. Struck Sam out a couple times on it, broke a bat. I have better power to left field. All pull power. No oppo juice. Is getting into college baseball very difficult? Sometimes I get nervous not going to make it. So again, like playing college baseball is difficult. Excuse me. Only like I think like 5 or 6% of high school players end up playing college baseball, so it's really competitive. Um, but I honestly would not like worry about it. I wouldn't stress over it. Again, have fun and look to improve every day, and then whatever happens from there happens. What's the best stadium in the MLB? Probably Fenway Park. Alec Bregman's YouTube channel. So I haven't watched all his videos, but I think anytime like you're starting to see more baseball people do YouTube videos. Um, and so anytime you get more access, I think it's cool. Wait, you're in Massachusetts? I thought you were. What did I say? Matt, do you think you could have gone pro in hockey? So I think that if I dedicated myself as much to hockey as I did to baseball, then I would have had a chance to. I would have played college hockey, and then I would have, seen what happened from there. But I was a pretty good hockey player when I was younger. Hockey was probably I'd say when I was young, my top sport. And then as I got into high school, I went into high school kind of probably a little bit more known as a hockey player, but it was close. And then ended up playing more baseball as I got into high school, more travel stuff, more year-round stuff, and then I ended up getting better at baseball. How do you get scouted from a small town? Well, nowadays, it depends what you're saying scouted for, college or pro ball, but for college now, the internet and is like much easier. Obviously, it doesn't matter where you're from. You can go outside. If you're a great pitcher, go outside, put a camera on yourself, get a radar gun, and you can get recruited out of anywhere. You could be from like the smallest place in the world. Hey, thank you so much. KK Choi, is that how you say it? Thank you. You ever play with Matt Bush? I did. Manny and I both play with. Um, Manny, excuse me. Manny and I both played with Matt Bush. He was on a. Did you play any summer leagues during your time away? Yeah, so I played in the Cape Cod League for 2 years. After my freshman year in college and after my sophomore year in college. Thank you. You too. Any football offers? So I didn't get any football offers. I kind of decided on baseball before I ever talked to any football schools. And I didn't have my senior year was really good at football. My junior year, I didn't play as much offense, so I had a good year junior year. But it wasn't until I was an everyday offensive player. Like junior year, I became an everyday offensive player like halfway through the year, and then I scored a bunch of touchdowns, but it was only half a season's worth. Then the next year, I played offense the whole year, and then I scored a whole bunch of touchdowns. So by that time, I was already a senior. I already committed to play baseball. So how do you play in the Cape Cod League? Usually, like your college coach will set you up with summer leagues. So if he feels that your ability, talent, whatever, um, fits the Cape or whatever league it is, they usually help you get there. Manny, my kid is 4 years old. What drills should we be doing besides T-ball? Um, so my kid's 4 years old too. I don't honestly tell him. I don't even tell him anything. I just so we hit off the tee, and then I give him underhand flips, and then I throw overhand with like these little. Hold on one sec. I'll go get the ball and show you. Actually, they were right next to me. So I throw these things at him, like these little balls that come in like that are in like ball pits. We've got like a ton of them. I throw these balls at him, and he uses that bat over there and just mashes them down here, and they don't hurt when they hit you. And that's pretty much all we do. I think the advice for most young guys is like, um, the advice I get a lot of questions like, how do I teach my young kid? Like, my kid's 4.5, and he won't listen to one thing I say. Like, if I try to teach him how to hit, I just tell him to swing fast, hit the ball hard. He likes to hit homers. That's all he really cares about. He doesn't even think you run the bases unless you hit a homer, which is funny. Um, with your genes, Sam, probably be a high school draft pick. Probably won't end up going to college. Yes, colleges pay attention to travel teams. Um, it depends. Like, there's certain teams that produce really, really good players, and so colleges are going to pay attention to those teams. Usually, they have connections with the coaches' staff, and they're going to check in with them every year if they're a team that's shown to, have good players that fit at that certain school. So, yes, they do. 1 million straight out of high school to pro ball or full ride to any school. Is that a question or is that just Sam's kid? Do I know who Justin Stone is? Justin Stone. Justin Stone from Um, what is it? Elite Baseball? That just is that his name, Justin Stone? Do I think perfect game is necessary? I don't know if it's necessary, but I mean, we play in perfect game tournaments every year, and I think they do. I think they do a good job um, with everything. There's some good and some bad, but I've always enjoyed our tournaments that we go to, perfect game tournaments. Favorite MLB memory, I would say my first hit off Greg Maddux, and then my first home run. Any first base tips? It's a good question. So I only played one, I think, no, I played maybe two professional games at first base, and I messed up in like my second inning. Um, First base isn't as easy as it seems, but if you're an athlete, Jack, what's up? If you're an athlete, literally when you go over there, just try to be athletic. Best player ever for you, your favorite all time. Manny Ramirez. Manny's my favorite all time hitter, and Pedro Martinez is my favorite all time pitcher. Is there any stigma around the league about the Toronto Blue Jays and playing baseball in Canada? I don't think so. I mean, maybe there is, but Will's probably playing Fortnite. Yo, Carson, what's up? Favorite player in the league right now? Well, I'm from Boston, so I like watching Mookie Betts hit. I like JD Martinez. I like Mike Trout. I like everybody. I like watching Aaron Judge hit. Longest home run that I've ever hit was, I don't know officially, but probably single A playing against Rancho Cucamonga. I hit a grand slam first pitch over the scoreboard in left center field. Out of your catchers, best pop time? I'd say our best pop time right now is probably Alex Lane, who will throw. He's typically like right around a 2-0. He might get a couple in the 1-9s, but I would say he's probably a 2-0 or some of his better ones. Is it hard to make Team USA? Yes, I think so. I never made it. I don't know. My favorite type of YouTube videos, I personally like, I mean, I pretty much do two. I do instructional videos, and then I do just kind of like answering random questions, like Q&A we call it. Kind of like we're doing here. I don't know. I like them both. Anything about baseball is cool with me. Kyle, it's a clown question, bro. What did Kyle ask? I didn't see it. Oh, favorite beer? Actually, I'm not really a fan of beer. Huge ASMR. What type of schools tend to target three-star athletes? So the star system, like, I don't know, I feel like that's more of a football thing, at least if it's baseball, I don't really know. So I don't even know what a three-star baseball player is, honestly. If I didn't play baseball, I would have played football or hockey. If I didn't coach baseball, I would probably try to coach football. When did I start playing baseball? I don't know, probably when I was like 4 or something. I played t-ball when I was too young to remember. Oh, what happened? Did Ted put a good question down here? Did I miss something? No. These questions are going too fast. I can't see them. Matty Jr.'s in bed, hopefully. He was sleeping when I got home. How much football do I know? Um, I know. I mean, I'm a huge football fan. Could I go coach a football team right now? No. But if I didn't coach baseball, I would be really interested to learn as much as I can about football. How did I choose where to go to college? Well, some of it was the teams that recruited me. So I went and played, and I got recruited by a bunch of schools, um, and then once I had those schools, then I just started doing research on the school and how many people, part of the country, went and visited. Did I feel comfortable on campus? NFL player that I most compare to, Tyreek Hill for speed, probably. Probably Le'Veon Bell for elusiveness. Kind of like Edelman toughness. Let's see. Probably like Gronk for size and strength. Gronk like 3-4 years ago, not this past year. Hey, doctor. Hold on. Thank you so much. I gotta go check here the super chat thing. Ever face a screwball pitcher? So I don't think so. I don't even know who is a screwball pitcher. I don't even know what a screwball looks like. I mean, I know what it's supposed to look like. Um, if I think of a screwball, I almost just think of like a really good, like running fastball. Almost like I think of it almost like facing a sidearm like guy, like or submarine guy, like a Darren O'Day, who I used to face. You get the ball, like go like that. It's not a screwball, but do I want to make a podcast with you, Jack? Tips for a short pitcher? I wouldn't. Same as a tall pitcher, I guess. Which NFL players do you think would be good at baseball? I saw Odell Beckham hit. He looked like he's a pretty good athlete or a pretty good hitter. That's a really hard question to ask because I mean Tom Brady was a good baseball player. Baseball is one of those acquired skills. So you could be the greatest athlete in the world, and like if you haven't played baseball, you're never, you know, like you can take a great basketball player and you can transition them to football somewhat easily. Um, but it doesn't really work with baseball. Best player I ever coached? Now that is a good question. I don't know. I'd have to think about that for a little bit. Do I want to coach an MLB one day? Right now, I don't want to. I've had a couple of opportunities to go into pro baseball coaching, and right now I'm happy with what I'm doing. No, I wouldn't have gone to Wake if baseball wasn't in the equation. I wouldn't even gotten into Wake. So if baseball wasn't in the equation, I would have probably just stayed closer to home. I went to Wake in North Carolina because of the warm weather and because of the baseball program. Any tips for freshmen starting at third base for varsity? Um, I mean, my tip is always just play your game. Don't worry about who you're playing, where you're playing, what team you're playing, what level you're playing, what stadium you're playing. It's like just the game pretty much remains the same at every level. You just gotta again play your game, not try to do more or less than you're capable of. What was Dylan's question? I missed it. Oh wow, Wolf Rain's in the house. I can't find Dylan's question. There's too many questions on here. Bartolo's greater than Tom Brady. Lamar, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see what Lamar's question is. How different is recruiting between small D1 schools and big D1 schools as far as looking at a player's ability? So it really depends. Like, so I coached at what would be considered, I guess, a small D1 school, Holy Cross. I coached there for 1 year. Like, compare us to Vanderbilt. I mean, it's a lot different. So we didn't even have scholarships at Holy Cross, and so um, we don't have scholarships. We don't have the exact facilities that like a Vanderbilt or these big schools have. And the players that we're looking for typically, like you're not going to find a super athletic player that's already polished. So you're going to have to either look for like a polished player that's not a very good athlete, that's maybe a little undersized, or you're going to have to look for um, a really good athlete or a player with some tools but is really not polished. You're not going to get both of those. Like the big schools are going to get both of those. And so I didn't coach enough at Holy Cross. I didn't recruit enough, but like I think for a smaller school, you're probably going to end up looking for guys that have a have some tools and a skill set that you think that you can help develop and help coach, um, so that eventually down the road they become a high upside player. Justin, thank you. Have I ever um, faced a knuckleballer? I did actually. I faced a knuckleballer in 2007. I don't remember his name though. He's with the Red Sox. Who was that? I don't know. It wasn't Tim Wakefield. Um, he struck me out, and I remember like thinking, I watched the knuckleball come in, and I took it, and I was like, that's not a very good knuckleball. And then he threw me another one, and I thought I was like right on it, and I swung and missed at it. So, and this was actually 2007 was in the minor league still. So I never faced like a big time knuckleballer. There's not many of them, I guess. I've never met Tom Brady. No, would like to. Oracle Park, great place. Favorite current MLB player? I'm not really sure. Mookie, JD Martinez. How fast you have? I don't even know what that says. Yeah, I think. I mean, I'll switch hitters. You see all the time. They're able to, they're one type of hitter from one side of the plate and a different type from another. So some of power and stuff like that is physical ability, like strength, of quickness, all that stuff. But a lot of it is also how you use your body in the swing. So if you've got a better swing from one side than the other, you might have more power. Kyle, what happens if you don't want to play a game? You mean like what happens if, like, um, I'm not sure if I get the question, but kind of have to play the game. Was committing to play baseball a risk? I don't think so. Like you want to go on vacation? It depends on what level you're at. If you're in little league, yeah, they let you go. If you're in even if you're in high school, you can't really just go on vacation. If you're in college, no. If you're in professional baseball, definitely not. I don't like the DH personally. I don't really have any interest watching a pitcher bunt or stand at back of the batter's box and take three strikes. Bills for or drills for gaining bat speed. So we do some like overload underload stuff, but I think a lot of it is um, just like how you use your body. And so the drills that we incorporate are teaching players kind of how to move their body in a certain way. I studied baseball at Wake Forest. I do not have any pets currently. Thoughts on going to JUCO? If that's a good fit for you, I mean, we've had some players go to JUCO for different reasons. Um, Typically, it's been academic reasons, but I think there's a good fit for everyone. And so, chance of getting a pro ball from a D2 school, not as high as they are from a D1 school, but if you're a good player, you're a good player. So it don't matter the level you play at. If you've got the skill set that warrants playing at the next level, then they will find you. Catapult loading system, I am not. Harper, I already answered that question, but I have no clue where he's going to end up. I thought he was going to end up in Philly, but I'm not so sure anymore. I've been to Iowa, yep. Played the Iowa Cubs. I like the idea of the pitch clock. The robot umps, I don't know. I think it might be coming one day, but college or draft, if you get, well, it depends on like your family's financial. I think usually it comes down to your signing bonus and how much money you're going to get. Like for me out of high school, I didn't get offered enough money to warrant going to play pro ball. Maybe I went and played pro ball. Maybe I would be in the big leagues now for like 15 years. I don't know. But I went to college and then 3 years later made way more money out of the draft and then signed. A good 12U catching program? What would a good 12U catching program look like for a catcher? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to answer on here. Switch hitting is fine if you're a good switch hitter. I mean, switch hitters have an advantage. They never have to face the same side. So, but it's also really hard to be a switch hitter. You get double the work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tips for a faster 60 time? I mean, get bigger, get stronger. The stronger I got, the faster I ran. Whoa, someone's got my name here. Do you know Zach? How do you say the last name? Hampel? Is that right? I don't know. He's the guy that catches all those home run balls, isn't he? I know who he is. I don't personally know him, though. Fran, are you trying to fight somebody? I've never been tossed, no. I use the 34-inch 31 to 31 and a half ounce bat. Take a deep breath in the box. I would look at the label of my bat, take a deep breath, in through my nose, out through my mouth, slow my breathing down, and then get in. Walking on a D1 school is possible, but it's really, really hard just because you're going to have to beat out a player that was recruited, a player that might even have scholarship money. So it's really difficult. I've seen it happen before, but I wouldn't just. A lot of players just say like, "Oh yeah, I'll just go walk on there," and I would say 99% of them end up not making the team. It's not impossible though. Venezuelan players, I've played with some really good Venezuelan players. Usually really good infielders. Best bat brand? I don't know. There's a lot of them. Come on, Will. Stop getting in the fights. Thank you, Joe. Is JUCO better than D3? I mean, it's two different things, and there's just so many different teams. Like, there's some D2 teams that beat D1 teams. There's some D3 teams that could beat D2 teams. There's some JUCO teams that could beat D1 teams. It just really depends. I don't get caught up so much in the number after the D. Best athlete I ever played with? Played with a lot of really good athletes. I don't know who the best athlete is. That's a good question. I have to think about that for a while. Did KD kill the NBA? I don't know. Did Tom Brady kill the NFL? Yeah, these are hard. I like doing these, but they get hard because, like right now is really busy baseball time for me. So I'm at practice and lessons and clinics and all that stuff all day long, and then I get home really late and I eat dinner, and then the only reason I do this tonight is because my wife was asleep. I think I don't know where she was when I got home. So I would have liked to play for the Red Sox. Yeah, for sure. A freshman in high school for recruiting, I think mostly what you want to be doing is research on schools. Um, Unless you're one of those rare 1% players or less than 1% that's so good that it's not going to matter. But I would do research on schools and figure out academically, socially, where you want to go to school, and then put a list together. I just put a bunch of videos up actually on YouTube that kind of describe what to do. So, excuse me, go check that out. Hey, thank you. Who said that? Holden? Not flying open? Um, so, I mean, we do a bunch of drills. I don't know if there's any perfect drill. I mean, an easy drill would just be to put like, if you're gonna do front toss, put an angle, put an L screen, not straight in front of you, but if you're a righty, put it towards like the shortstop part of the mound, and then flip on an angle to stay on the ball that way. But flying open, some people think we could talk about this for a long time. Flying open isn't exactly what I think a lot of people think it is. So, do I have a side job other than coaching? Babysitting Will Frayne. Small private D3 that offers grants and not gonna money, or D2 that offers less money. I mean, it really depends. If money is I think there's going to be a lot of factors other than just money. Unless money is just your only factor, then it's wherever gave you more money. But my thoughts on Bob Kraft, um, I just hope nothing bad happens to the Patriots because of it. Shortstop glove size, brand's personal preference. I use Rawlings. Used 11 and three quarters. Used 11 and a half 1 year. I didn't get a full ride. No, very few baseball players get full rides. Almost zero get full rides. There's only 11.7 scholarships offered, and there's 35-man rosters, which means the average is like 33%. I think I got 67% or almost 70%, which is pretty high. Would I be a good pitching candidate? Yeah, I think I would. Does height matter? I mean, there's some short guys in the MLB like Jose Altuve, short guy. Dustin Pedroia wasn't a big guy. There's more big guys in the MLB. Did I say NBA? I don't know what I just said. In the MLB. Um, Wade LeBlanc is the greatest of all time. Who is DC, by the way? I see you comment on a lot of my YouTube videos, but I don't know who it is. Nicholas Bitcoin. I see you comment a lot too. My favorite NHL player. I haven't watched the NHL in a long time, even though um, I love playing hockey. I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't even know. My favorite all-time hockey player. I've got a couple. Sergei Fedorov, Pavel Bure. Those are probably my two favorite all-time hockey players. Frayne, go to sleep. Mark Bellhorn, best Red Sox player ever. Advice on choosing bat length to weight ratios. Um, I mean, I think light, for me personally, I always felt better, lighter is better, but research on schools, like go on Google, type in a bunch of different schools, figure out what their grade, like, would you be able to get into the school? What are the grades, test scores, SATs, all that stuff? And then socially figure out what part of the country it's in, how many students go there, what majors do they offer, all that stuff. And then you look at the baseball part of things, and if you think that you could be a fit in all three facets, then you can go visit the school if you can. I hope Kyrie isn't leaving, and Anthony Davis is coming over. I don't think anyone's refused to play before. Where are my car keys? Opinion on Wagner and green light hitting. So I actually bought green light hitting a long time ago, um, and it was good. Maybe I need to go back and read it. I haven't read it in a long time. You guys want to hear a crazy story about car keys? I'm going to give you a crazy story about car keys. I don't think I've ever said this. DC, who are you again? I don't think you answered yet, did you? Thank you so much. Um, So here's an interesting story, really, really quick about car keys. My wife and I were driving to spring training with the Orioles down in Sarasota, Florida. And so we drove down and we stopped in Georgia at a gas station, just randomly pulled off the side of the road, stopped at a gas station. And so we went in and um, I had a I had my keys, I think, in the car. You didn't have to put them in the ignition. You just had them in the car. This is probably 2000. What year was this? 2012. So my wife also had a car key, and so she went into the gas station to get something and accidentally left the car keys on the table or on the whatever you want to call the counter. And so we get back in the car and we drive all the way down to Florida. We get there and we're looking for my other set of keys and we can't find them. And so I call the car dealership and they wanted like $500 for another key. And so I needed another set of keys in case, I don't know, what if I lose mine or whatever. And so we had no idea. We didn't know that she left them on the counter. We had zero idea. We were like, where the hell could we have put the keys? And so we looked all over the car, couldn't find them anywhere. And so I said, did you take them into that gas station that we stopped at? And she's like, no, I don't know. I'm not sure. I would think about it. And then she goes, well, maybe I did take them in there. But we had no idea what gas station it was. Like, zero clue. We just pulled over in Georgia. I knew it was in Georgia. That's all I knew. I knew it was in Georgia. I didn't know what city. I didn't know what part of Georgia. Neither of us did. So she went on to Google Maps and she traced our route from Sarasota, Florida, all the way up to Georgia. And then she just started going along the maps, like on the satellite view where you could see things, all the way up, kept going up Georgia. We couldn't figure out what town it was. And then she randomly went up and she's like, that looks like where we got off right there. And she's Georgia's a pretty big state. And she's like, that looks like where we got off right there. And so she followed it and she was like, I think we took a right here. And I think that was the gas station right there. Now, just keep in mind, we drove from Boston to Florida. Took us like 2 days. And we stopped at a lot of gas stations. And somehow she found this little gas station, called them. She found it. She clicked on it, got the number off Google, called them. And they said, oh, your keys are actually sitting right here at the front on the counter here, and they sent them to us. I thought that was an amazing story. Our college camps are good for exposure if that's where you want to go, or if they have, some college camps have a couple of coaches there. Why is this 99? Oh, there we go. Whoops. Um, yeah, so it's good if you want to go to that school, then you're going to be able to get in front of the coaching staff. You're going to be able to, so you learn from the coaching staff. They get to know you. They can interact with you. You get to see the campus. You get to see the field. You get to see how the coaching staff coaches. So, if you really want to go to like University of Virginia, obviously you got to be a great player. That's a bad example. If you really want to go to like Holy Cross, the best place to go to get recruited by Holy Cross is their camp. Now, there's tons of players that go to the camp, and they might take one guy maybe in a year, but you're not going to have any better chance to play in front of them or in front of that school than you are at their camp. You live in Sarasota? I was just there a couple months ago. My wife's dad lives there, so we got on a visit. All right, let's see. Patty Hawes, I think he's got pretty good stuff, man. It's 11:20. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go in a little bit. A few more minutes. Who will win the College World Series this year? I don't know. Nicholas Bitcoin, you're always talking about Wade. ITT Tech Baseball. What is ITT Tech Baseball? I never met Derek Jeter. No, I didn't. Passions other than baseball, football. basketball. 15U baseball, I mean, that's still pretty young. I don't think, well, it depends. If you're a great player, if you're like going to definitely be a D1 player, then colleges might be watching 15U baseball, but it's still pretty early. Are you lit? I have actually never used the word lit before in a sentence. I still say cool. That's what we said. Antonelli baseball started because I got released. I was playing with the Cleveland Indians, and they said, man, you stink. And they released me, and pretty much everyone else said you stink too, and no one wanted to sign me anymore. And so I needed to do something. I wanted to coach. Started Antonelli baseball. Good night, Sam. Go to bed. It's snowing out 3 to 5 inches tonight. You might not have school tomorrow. Lincecum was filthy. He was one of the best players. He's one of the probably... Lincecum was one of the first players that I ever played against where guys were coming back to the dugout laughing, being like, good luck up there, you got no chance. Like, he was one of the first players that I saw that happen in a game. Guys were like, yeah, we got no chance today, fellas. Will the Rays do good this season? I have no idea. I don't know. Good night, Mark. Mark A, who is that? It's not Mark Anthony, is it? Tips on running poles and triangles faster. Well, I guess if you really are intent on running them faster, then just go out and practice them. Currently 70. It's currently 15 degrees out right now, and it's snowing. Does Machado deserve $300 million? I mean, his numbers are pretty damn good. I think Ohtani is an amazing baseball player. Hopefully he stays healthy or gets healthy. What team is the jersey on my wall? Well, that one is Wake Forest. That's my college jersey. And then let me see if I can show you over here. And that's where I put my... So one of those jerseys, this jersey over here, the tan one, I think that was the one that I made my debut in. I think. Either way, that was for my rookie year. And then that other one was what I got. They gave me that when I was drafted, because I was drafted in the first round by them, so they gave me one with the number 1. If I was Kyler Murray, whoops, hold on. Oopsies. If I was Kyler Murray, I can't get the phone to stay now. I would have chose football. Probably. The camera's moving all over the place now. Did you face Jeff Allison? Yeah, I faced Jeff Allison a bunch of times. Tony Gwynn was a great player, for sure. Late bloomer, undersized, early in high school. So you're no longer undersized? Your dad got stuck in Iowa 3 hours in Iowa from the snow? Yeah, Hater's filthy. What would you say is the standard for your 14U teams? What do you mean the standard? Standard for what? I have played at Fenway Park. Stats mean nothing in high school. Matt, say hi to Cowie. What's up, Cowie? Stats, yes, I do lots of one-on-one lessons. What was I saying? Stats in high school pretty much mean nothing. So high school, like honestly, there's so many different levels of high school baseball. You could hit 300 in one place and go to a different league and hit 800. So it's all about skill set. Khalil Green story? Do I have a Khalil Green story? Khalil didn't talk a whole lot. I never got to know him really well. Um, my Cleo Green story that sticks out in my head was in spring training one year. He was swinging like the biggest bat of all time. It just looked humongous. And it was like really early in spring training, and he wasn't hitting the ball great. He was fouling off a lot of balls, and his bat just looked huge. And I think some people were like, dude, like, what the hell are you swinging such a huge bat for? And he said, his reply was something like, well, oh, like last year I flew out, I don't remember the numbers, to the warning track. And he said, well, this year with this bat, because it's bigger and heavier, I'm going to add 20 to 30 feet of my fly balls, and those balls will become home runs. But the bat was like, it was the biggest bat I ever seen in my life. And I don't think that, unless you can swing that bat pretty fast, I'm not sure if the math was correct there, but I do vividly remember that. What influence did my parents have on my young baseball career? Well, my dad was my coach pretty much my whole life. And I always say that if you want to be a great player, we just had this talk with our players this past week at practice. If you want to be a good player, playing on a good travel ball team, or playing with a good team, with good players against good players, is really important. But if you want to be a great player, like I think great players are a lot of times made outside of team activities. And so playing with your friends, or having like a dad or somebody that can throw BP to you, hit you ground balls and all that stuff. So I think that was probably the biggest influence my dad had, is that he would be the person that would hit me ground balls and throw BP to me and do flips. And so you need a lot of, and it doesn't have to be a dad. Your dad ran away. I'm sorry to hear that, but it doesn't have to be your dad. You could be uncle, brother, sister, friend, anybody. If you have somebody that can help you get working outside of your team activities, then I think that's what's really, really important. And that's what makes players really, that's what makes you really good. So dad coaches are underrated. I think dad coaches get a bad rap. But there are some bad. Listen, I've seen a lot of dad coaches. I think the best dad coaches are the coaches where when you watch the team play, you can't tell which kid is the son of the dad. Like that, I think, is the most important thing. You see some dad coaches where you show up and you're like, okay, that's the dad's kid right there. And then, there's a lot of other coaches. There's really good. See, like Daddy Ball, lots of them are trying like my dad was my coach. But like, I don't think that if you showed up, you would know that I was my dad's son. Like, that's a sign of a good coach or a good dad coach. But I can't stand it when you show up and like the coach only coaches his son, or he's all over his son but he's not coaching the team. He's just coaching his son. Then at that point, I think you need to find a different coach. All right, everyone, I'm going to stay for another minute and 30 seconds. Did I expect to go in the first round? It depends when you say that. Like, I pretty much knew I was going to go in the first round of the day of the draft, the week before the draft. But before that, not really. Would I recommend going to private high school for baseball? No. There's great public high schools, good private high schools. Depends on what part of the country you're from. Was I awesome in Little League? I was pretty good in Little League. I'd say I was one of the better players. Yes, I do miss the MLB. Yes, I've been making a lot of those college videos about that. So keep watching the channel. I have more coming up. Thanks, Calvin. I appreciate you watching. Check out for pancake glove drills. Just check out our YouTube channel. Go to like our hands routine and stuff. Thanks, Dylan. From Houston. I don't know if there'll be a strike, but I feel like there could be something going on over the next few years. How good was I in A-ball? Which A ball? Like Little League A ball? I don't know when I'll do another one of these. I haven't done one in a long time. Once we get into baseball season, I'll probably do more. Who wants a shout out? Someone asked for a shout out. Ted. Stop, Ted. I like the pitch clock. All right, Dude Perfect. Last question here. Let's see what comes up. Jack, what's going on? Another Jack. I have never met Domingo Ayala. Thanks, Bill. Rawlings. Nope, haven't done that, Ted. Favorite food? Ice cream and hamburgers. Thanks, DC. Good night, Tenny. Wolfrain. Mountains shouldn't be moved back. I coached very similarly to how I played, I would say. My personality changed a little bit. But I don't think it's just as you get older, you're gonna naturally just change a little bit, I think. But I'm pretty similar. How often I eat at Donovan's? All the time. Favorite candy bar? Probably like a caramello. Am I a strict coach? No, not really. The Natural is not the best movie ever. Baseball movie ever. Good movie. Favorite color? Blue. Thoughts on the Orioles? They were pretty bad last year. Can't be that bad again, so you can only go up from there. Never been to Skips. Oh, you're in Houston private school? I don't know. I'm not sure about high schools in Houston. I've been there, but never lived there. Never popped my chain. Mets are going to be decent. White Sox, I don't know. Been to Alabama. Bruins. Be really good at baseball. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Was going to do 30 minutes. I always say that, and I do an hour. Thank you for everyone that donated money to Antonelli Baseball right there. $38 from the Super Chat. Thank you so much. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Well, I'm not going to do anything with it. It's going to go back in the program. Maybe I'll buy us some new baseballs or something. So you just helped Antonelli Baseball hit some new pearls. It's for you, Sam and Will and Jack and everyone else that's watching. All right, everyone. Take care. I'm going to go upstairs, see what's going on. I think everyone in my house is sleeping, but we will talk to you all later. I'll do this more often as we get into baseball season.